I didn't argue when they asked. That was the part everyone remembered later, the nod, the small, agreeable tilt of my head. No hesitation, no visible reluctance. Just compliance delivered in the polite shorthand my family had come to expect. New Year's plans were, apparently, flexible. Children were not. "You're not doing anything that can't be moved," my sister had said, already halfway convinced of the answer. My mother nodded along. "It's just one evening." One evening. The phrase carried the comforting elasticity of something endlessly repeatable. I had learned, over the years, that resistance required energy I rarely possessed. Disagreement invited negotiations, explanations, subtle guilt dressed as concern. It was easier to nod. Easier didn't always mean harmless. That night, I drove home through streets preparing for celebration. Restaurants glowing, groups gathering. The city vibrating with anticipation that had nothing to do with obligation. My phone buzzed twice before I reached my apartment. "Thanks again, you're a lifesaver." I placed the phone face down on the counter. The quiet of my apartment felt unusually sharp, no background noise, no competing voices. Just the low hum of the refrigerator and the faint sounds of traffic drifting through the window. Memory has a peculiar way of surfacing when silence deepens. Not dramatic recollections, small ones. Weekend invitations declined because we might need you. Vacations shortened. Evenings redirected. My availability treated less like generosity and more like infrastructure. Reliable, expected, unquestioned. I sat on the couch without turning on the lights. For a long time, nothing about the situation felt urgent. There was no argument replaying in my mind, no spike of anger demanding release, only a steady, unfamiliar clarity. The realization arrived without emotion. I did not want to go. More surprising, I did not have to. The decision formed quietly, not rebellion. Adjustment. I slept late the next morning, ignored the creeping instinct to check messages. By evening, the city had shifted into its ritual countdown. Distant fireworks testing the sky. Music leaking through neighboring walls. At 8:17 p.m., my phone began vibrating. "Where are you?" "We're outside." I pictured it instantly. My sister balancing impatience and mild annoyance, children bundled against the cold. My mother already constructing explanations for my lateness. Another buzz. "Hello." I stood, walked to the small desk near the window, and picked up the envelope I had prepared earlier that day. No dramatic phrasing. No emotional monologue, just a single sheet of paper taped neatly to my door. I turned off my phone. And left. Midnight found me standing among strangers near the river, watching light fracture across the water. No obligations. No negotiations. No one calculating how my time might be repurposed. Freedom, I discovered, was quieter than I'd imagined. Less exhilarating. More steady. The phone calls began the next morning. My mother first. Her voice carried confusion sharpened by irritation. What was that note supposed to mean? It meant I wasn't available. "You agreed." I nodded. A pause. "As far as normal people are concerned, that's the same thing." I didn't argue, because, in our family, it often had been. My sister's call came later, urgency replacing annoyance. "This isn't funny." "I'm not trying to be funny. You embarrassed us." The word lingered. Embarrassment, the emotional currency of family dynamics. Not exhaustion. Not imbalance. Embarrassment. "I'm stepping back," I said. "From babysitting. From being assumed." Silence followed. Then a laugh that wasn't really laughter. "You're being dramatic." Perhaps. But the alternative had grown unbearable. The external consequence arrived 3 weeks later. Not through conversation. Through notifications. My phone lit up mid-meeting. Bank alert transfer failed, Buck alert payment reversal. I stared at the screen, momentarily disoriented. Another alert. Then another. By lunch, my sister's name appeared. Her voice sounded different this time, thinner, tension leaking through the spaces between words. "There's a problem with the accounts." "What kind of problem?" "The payments you used to." She hesitated. "They stopped." "Yes." "You didn't say anything." I thought the note was clear. "That was about New Year's." "No," I said gently. It wasn't. The shift was almost audible, not anger, recognition. Behind her voice, I could hear movement, muffled conversation, the restless energy of anxiety migrating through a household. "We're getting notices," she said. I closed my eyes briefly. For years, my financial contributions had flowed quietly, absorbed into the background of family stability. No discussions, no acknowledgments beyond occasional gratitude softened by expectation. Support mistaken for permanence. "I can't keep doing this. You're just letting us struggle." The question carried genuine bewilderment, as if my withdrawal represented malfunction rather than decision. "Letting you adjust." A long silence. "This is unbelievable." Maybe. But it was also real. The weeks that followed were filled with procedural urgency. Budget revisions. Meetings with advisors. Conversations no longer framed as casual requests but structured necessities. My family did not collapse, which complicated everything. They reorganized, scaled, adapted. Months later, at a small birthday gathering, the atmosphere felt subtly altered. No hostility, no overt reconciliation. Just caution. My mother handed me a drink. "We've made some changes," she said carefully. "I know." No apology followed, none requested. Across the room, my sister managed cake distribution with the brittle efficiency of someone navigating new constraints. Nothing had been resolved, but something had shifted. Not power, not victory, only the quieter, more disorienting reality of no longer being automatically available, financially, emotionally, structurally. Autonomy, I was learning, did not arrive with celebration. It arrived with distance. And the uneasy, necessary work of allowing everyone, including myself, to live with it.